So this video was going to be a very happy one. I wrote the script up, has lots of nice things to say about this shoe, and then I get to recording the B-roll and I discover something, well, a little bit depressing. Let's get into the video and I'll tell you all about it. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Brendon, and yes, we have the Alphafly in-house. This is a shoe that I considered picking up for a long while, but due to the price and other factors, I never bothered picking it up. But when I saw this colorway come out, I just had to pick it up. Blue is my all-time favorite color, and these just look like an absolute snack. The Alphafly has been out for quite a long time, and with that, there are a lot of other great Alphafly review videos, and those people might actually be able to do a better job at reviewing this shoe in the eyes of an elite runner. But for myself, like I said, I'm a non-elite runner, and I'm going to share my experiences for those people that want to hear if this shoe is any good for non-elite runners. That's the type of view you're going to get from me. Now, very quickly, let's go over the specs of this thing. It has 39 millimeters of stack height in the heel, 35 millimeters in the forefoot, including those AirPods there, for a 4 millimeter drop. In my size 10.5 US men's, it comes in at 236 grams. I'll leave that in ounces right here on your screen. And that actually makes it one of the heaviest carbon fiber plated shoes I have. It's a thick boy, and with a thick boy comes a little bit of extra weight, but that's just fine. We love them all the same. This shoe is packed with technology, and as we go through this video, you're gonna see just how much research has gone into this shoe. And actually, as I got to writing the script for this video, I got to thinking, is this gonna be the peak of shoe technology goodness wrapped into one package? Sure, we're gonna get more lightweight foams, more responsive, more bouncy, but look at the amount of technology in this shoe. They have the AirPods, they have that fly plate, the carbon fiber plate, they have the ZoomX midsole, they have the adamant upper, all combined. Like, there is so much technology gone into this shoe, and I don't know if we're gonna see any shoes that really compete with that in terms of technology front. Now, people do say that this shoe kind of went overboard in terms of technology. I could definitely see that. Like, this is not a traditional running shoe in the sense at all. Now, we take a turn to the dark side. The midsole, the ZoomX midsole, the AirPods, the carbon fiber plated shoes, this was meant to be the savior. But unfortunately, when I was doing my B-roll, I discovered something catastrophic. Now, consider this. Put yourself in my shoes for a second here. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a sad story. You go online, you see this running shoe for sale for 365 Canadian dollars, and you say to yourself, you deserve a treat. You put your credit card information in there, you buy the shoe. It comes to $420 after tax, but that's okay because you deserve a little treat. It comes in the mail, you put it on, and you feel the magic of the ZoomX midsole, the AirPods, the carbon fiber plate. The whole thing just feels like an absolute dream. You run in it 5 or 6 times, and you go and write the script for your video, and you're saying all these praises and all this stuff. So you go down and you start recording some B-roll video. You see something very catastrophic. You look at this piece in the back of the midsole, and you see that it's kind of separating. But then you also discover that it's also cracking. This is when the tears start. This is when the tears start, guys. This midsole is separating. It's coming undone. Like, I've heard stories of people blowing their AirPods and that type of stuff, but the midsole is literally separating. And where it's separating is where they would have sandwiched the carbon fiber plate and then glued the 2 midsole pieces together. That is coming undone. This is unacceptable. For a $420 shoe, come on, Nike. Come on, you gotta realize that when people put this type of money into it, yes, these are racing shoes, but the reality is racing shoes are getting more durable, and if Nike can't get their quality control under control, well, they're gonna start getting a lot more complaints, and you know what? The competition's catching up. The competition's catching up, and people might start to go towards those other shoes. Now, I understand I'm a little bit dramatic right now and animated, but that's to be expected. My $400+ shoe is falling apart. I did reach out to the store that I bought it from, but I feel bad. I don't want the store that I bought it from to lose money. They're just a little local running shoe store. They need help at this time. It's Nike that needs to be able to reimburse them. So, I just can't get over it. And then I look, as I'm doing some more B-roll, the other side is starting to come undone as well. So both shoes have this same problem. Like I said, I reached out to the running shoe store, and they said that there have been types of things like this happen in the past, where the glue that they use to glue the midsole pieces together is faulty. And it has to be, I don't know what they're gonna do. They said they're gonna reach out to Nike and maybe they'll do a repair. And essentially what that will be is literally just tell me what type of glue to buy and I'll glue the midsole back together myself, which honestly, that's fine too. But honestly, it's just a matter of principle at this point. Very disappointed. But you know what, that's the negative. Let's talk a little bit about positives, because before I discovered that, there was nothing but positive to say about this midsole. The wider carbon fiber plate and the amount of ZoomX that could satisfy any midsole muncher is absolutely fantastic. What I was a little bit concerned about is the stability of this shoe. It is very high stack height after all, but the wider carbon fiber plate gives a little bit more stability, and I would argue that this is my most stable carbon fiber plated super shoe. Now cornering is another thing. When you're going around sharp corners, sure, you gotta slow down a little bit, but when you're going in a straight line, no problems in terms of overpronation or anything like that. So for me, here's what happens. When I run along, I'm typically a heel to a midfoot striker. So I get a big mouthful of that ZoomX midsole, and that kind of bounces me along and helps me to get to my forefoot to toe off. And when I get to my forefoot and toe off, the AirPods work their hydraulic magic. It just like, you know those shoes, or the cars that bounce up and down? That's what I feel like. I feel like the AirPods are acting as hydraulics and bouncing me off and helping me along on that next stride. And the whole sensation, guys, running in this midsole is effortless. That's all I can say, is it just feels effortless to glide along at marathon paces. This shoe, now it is very present on foot. It feels really clunky, so I don't think that I want to wear it for a speedy 5K, a speedy 10K. I'd reserve it for more of my half marathon to marathon racing, but for training runs, I'm gonna be using this shoe. I understand that these should probably be reserved for racing, and people don't like training in carbon fiber plated shoes, so they think it's bad. I understand that. I get where you're coming from, but for me, these types of shoes get me out the door when I'm feeling fatigued, feeling a little bit, I don't wanna go run. I know that if I put this shoe on, I'm gonna have a great time, so that's exactly what I do, and if you disagree with that, I'm sorry, that's just the way I love to use these shoes, is whenever I want, just whenever I feel like using them. So overall, I can't get past that the midsole's falling apart. It's literally falling apart. I can't really say that I'm happy, but I'm happy whenever I run in the shoe before I realized what's happening to the midsole here. That's just the truth. Really enjoyed it, and I really hope that they're able to at least tell me how I can fix this shoe. Have you had a similar experience? I know Ben Parks, his AirPod exploded, but has anyone else had a similar experience with the ZoomX foams that it's literally being separated apart and probably gonna break off? That's exactly what I think is gonna happen. But anyway, let's get on to the rest of the review. So the upper in this thing is Atom Knit, and it is completely see-through. When I put my socks on, this thing essentially changes color to be the color of my socks because you can just see right through it. And with that comes excellent breathability. And because this thing is so see-through and thin and breathable, it actually doesn't hold all that much water. Now, the last shoe review I did, the Fuel Cell Rebel version 2, that held water. This thing, I've ran in it a bunch of times. Now, I probably didn't say this, but I've done about 5 or 6 runs in this shoe. So I've done quite a bit of kilometers or miles, whatever you want to say, so far in this shoe, and I haven't had any trouble in terms of it absorbing water. The breathability, now that it's starting to get warmer here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, the breathability is fantastic. Another great thing about this upper, I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but the shoelaces are top notch. Whatever they did here, it's kind of like serrated. The grip of the shoelaces are fantastic. And a lot of the other carbon fiber plated super shoes that I have to be worrying about double tying them or they're gonna definitely go undone. This shoe, I didn't even need to do a double tie. They also have a little bit of padding through the ankle collar here, and I absolutely love what Nike does with their ankle collar padding. It's the same thing that you're gonna get in the Next Percent, similar anyway, maybe not exactly the same, but the padding that they put through the ankle collar is absolutely fantastic and helps with that extra lockdown. The Atom Knit upper is a booty construction, so there's no separated tongue. It's just one piece of material, and what that can lead to, guys, I'm so happy they put 2 pull tabs because I need double the force to get this thing on my foot. It's a little bit snug to get it on, but once you get it on, there's lots of room through that toe box, lots of room through the midfoot. Compared to the Next Percent, if you have the Next Percent, this thing feels so much more comfortable. There's so much more room in there for me. Now, my foot does kind of hang over the midsole a bit, but I think that's kind of just, it comes with the territory for these shoes. Overall, the Adamant upper is actually probably one of my favorite uppers that I've ever tried on a running shoe. Would I like this upper on a daily trainer? Absolutely, I think anyway. Like, I don't know about the durability of it, but in terms of comfort, breathability, the ability of it to not absorb water, this thing is next level. Really enjoying it so far. Now this outsole, I think looks super cool. Yeah, I know, looks mean absolutely nothing. How does it perform? It performs admirably. Now, you gotta realize, this shoe was designed and used very heavily in the Kenyan dirt roads. So of course it's gonna have a decent amount of traction. It's gonna work for them. So it's gonna work for me doing my little gravel paths and running on roads, maybe the odd little tree path where there's pretty much just dirt on there. It's gonna do the trick. It's grippy. In the rain, it felt fantastic. I didn't slip at all. There's no real complaints about the outsole. If I don't think about the outsole, I don't have any complaints about it, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So overall, guys, this shoe is too expensive to be falling apart, and that's exactly what's happening. I'm just so disappointed that I'm kind of speechless. I don't know exactly what to say. I just discovered this just a little bit ago, so I'm still kind of absorbing this and kind of processing it myself, like what's gonna be happening with these shoes that I've really enjoyed. It's unfortunate that it's happening to a shoe that I want to spend a lot of miles in. I don't know what they're gonna tell me to do. But overall, I do think that this shoe is one of the more stable carbon fiber plated racing shoes that I own. When running in a straight line, cornering a whole nother thing, I do think that the Adamant upper is the best upper that I've ever tried. There's just no beating the ZoomX midsole at this time, although companies are coming close. The ZoomX midsole really works for me. Now, if you don't like a shoe that feels very present on foot, this isn't the shoe for you. But for me, when I'm lacing up this shoe, I feel like I'm marching into battle. It kind of flips a switch in my brain and gets me ready to get out there and tackle that run. So overall, guys, I love this shoe so much. I'm so sad it's falling apart, especially for $420. Should you buy this shoe? Is it good for you? Now, they did say that this is very rare when it's falling apart, so don't take this kind of with a grain of salt. There are going to be manufacturing issues with any type of thing, right? So overall, would I recommend this shoe for you? Well, it's only a first couple of impressions, but I do think that if you have lots of money to burn and you want to have the most cushion possible with the most amount of technology, and you don't mind running in something that doesn't feel like a traditional running shoe, yeah, absolutely pick this up. You're probably gonna have a great time. Now, that's it for this initial impression of the Nike Alphafly. I'll keep you updated with what's happening in terms of the R&O for this shoe and what they're gonna do for me. I hope that it's positive. I'll keep you updated. Thank you all so much for making it to the end of the video. Your support is overwhelming and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed the video, consider hitting the like button. It helps with the channel a ton and will help me feel a little bit better about this midsole here. And if you haven't already and you like these videos, why not subscribe? It really means a lot. And hit the bell if you want to get notified. Sometimes the videos don't get pushed out to people, so the bell makes sure that you do get the notifications. All right, thank you so much. I'm gonna go run in this and see if it falls apart.